A close encounter could happen to anyone. It could happen to you.
Who are you people? We have very little time, Mr. Neary. We need answers from you. They're honest, direct, and to the point. Who are you?
Avez-vous passé récemment une rencontre?
Have you recently had a close encounter?
I want to speak to someone in charge.
Une rencontre plutôt inhabituelle?
I want to lodge a complaint.
Close encounter with something very unusual.
What the hell is going on around here? Who the hell are you people?
No, I think the unknown is traumatizing to people. I think we do have a built-in DNA of fear. I was 18 years old, Arlington, Virginia, where we lived. UFOs buzzed the Capitol and buzzed the White House on July 19th, 1952. I recorded it in my diary. No one knew what it was. The switchboards lit up. Everybody was confused. A few days later, Truman, who was president then, had General Samford go on television. I have the kinescope, actually, and say, look, they're not ours and they're not Russian. We don't know what they are. We need the governments to reveal these files. The Chinese have done it. The Brazilians have done it. The French did it about a month ago, and it so lit up their switchboard it crashed their net. So I think the people are way ahead of military intelligence.
What is the, since they're not attacking us and they've been seen for years, what's the fear? What's the government's fear?
That's an interesting question. I've been working with Paul Hellyer. He's the minister, ex-minister of Defense Canada under Trudeau. He is upset because the Americans are planning the weaponization of space as though they are enemies.
World Trade Center?
That's the same thing.
What is that? It's over there.
You really believe that UFOs exist? Why?
Well, I think the preponderance of anecdotal evidence from pilots, from law enforcement people, from people who've had experiences and sightings. I think also my own experience. I've had a high altitude sighting with 3 other people, and it definitely wasn't a helicopter, a jet. Now, of course, you know, a professional would discount my sighting and say, well, you don't really know. And I can't sit here and tell you 100% that I saw a craft that was created by beings from another planet outside of our sphere of technology. I can't tell you 100%. I can just tell you what I saw and what I feel. Mm-hmm. They're here. They're looking at us in a petri dish, and I've got to say, the way mankind is behaving, they're probably very disappointed. I woke up in the middle of the night and I said to my wife, they're calling me, I want to go outside, they want me to come outside and see. Because who? Something outside wants me to come out and say, oh, just go back to bed. I went back to bed, but in the next day in the media, in newspapers, in radio, all over upstate New York and Ontario and Quebec and Vermont, people spoke about this urge they had to go out of their houses at 3 in the morning and look up into the sky.
Come on, is that for real?
Yeah, you could research that. It was in the mid-'80s. In fact, it was a pink spiral that appeared in the sky. People went out, telepathically urged like I was. I didn't go, schmuck. And they went out in the sky, they saw this pink spiral in the sky, huge, miles, like 2 miles long, and the Air Force said it was a Chinese rocket.
Isn't this that when I got out in 1989, we had cataloged 57 different species. You have individuals that look very much like you and myself that could walk among us and you wouldn't even notice the difference. The situation is that you have various types of what we normally call grays. We didn't call them grays in the military, but you had at least 3 types of the grays. You had some that were much taller than we were. The unique thing that I'd like to point out for the most part is that the entities that we did catalog were in fact humanoid. Now this created a situation where the scientific community was trying to figure out why that would be the case, because you would expect that if life evolved on other planets that they would take on some type of other being, so to speak, not necessarily look humanoid or be bipedal such as we are.
Columbia, Houston, that's a much better view, a lot more contrast visible.
And how wide does that tether appear to be?
It kind of flies with us, and it's illuminated by the sun at such low angle, so there's a lot of straight line.
My name is Carl Wolf, and I was a precision electronics photographic repairman with a top secret crypto clearance in the United States Air Force. I was stationed at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. In 1965, in mid-1965, I was loaned to the Lunar Orbiter Project at NASA on Langley Field. Dr. Colley was in charge of that project. They had problems with a piece of electronic equipment that was bottlenecking their production of photographs. I went to the facility, and when I walked into the facility, there were scientists from all over the world. I was stunned, actually, to see people at a NASA project from all over the world. It didn't make any sense to me initially. I was taken into the laboratory where the equipment was malfunctioning. I couldn't repair it in the dark. I asked to have it removed. Airman second class was in the dark room at that time. I was also an airman second class. I was interested in how the whole process functioned, how the data got from the lunar orbiter to the laboratory. I asked the young man if he described the process to me. He did. About 30 minutes into the process, he said to me, in a very distressed way, by the way, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And then he proceeded to put photographs down in front of me, and clearly in these photographs were structures, mushroom-shaped buildings, spherical buildings, and towers.
Airlines employees who swear it was something otherworldly in the skies above Chicago's O'Hare Airport on November 7th, but neither the FAA nor indeed their own employer appears to be taking them seriously. Chicago Tribune interviewing several people anonymously, including maintenance workers, baggage handlers, and pilots, who each and all described a dark gray saucer-like object that hovered low over Concourse C of the United Airlines terminal just before sunset, before shooting off into the sky. This isn't a picture, but that's a plane. Some say it moved so fast it literally punched a hole in the clouds.
Strange lights over the skies of San Diego. If you saw them last night, just about a half hour after midnight, you were not the only one. We received a number of emails today asking about them. Even got a call from a group in Claremont who captured the display on camera.
Right, so what was it, huh? Stevensville, Texas is a farm town where when the sun goes down at night, the stars light up in the sky. And last week, witnesses claim they saw something hovering hundreds of feet above the ground, and they say they saw fighter jets. UFO Society, by the way, Megan, 200 UFO sightings reported each month.
That's a big number, Bill.
Not just in a year or a decade, but each month.
You a believer?
Yeah.
You are not alone.
Thank you.